हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं डॉक्टर विश्वरूप चौधरी आपका स्वागत करता हूं टू टेक द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स बिकमिंग अ प्रोफेशनल डायबिटीज एजुकेटर. This video is relevant to those people who are already a certified diabetes educator but they want to keep their service professionally. For that, you have to take two steps. Step 1, you have to read my book Last Days of Diabetes, or you have to watch my video Last Days of Diabetes, which you can download from the YouTube, so that you can get an extra knowledge which will be helpful to you while you are delivering your service in a professional manner. And step 2, you have to buy Diabetes Educator Toolkit from India Book of Record Office. If you are already having the toolkit and you've already gone through the Last Days of Diabetes book, or you have seen the video Last Days of Diabetes, then this is the right time to get the training on how to deliver this service in a professional manner, so that the patient are getting cured, so that the patient are relieved, so that the patient are able to free themselves of 3Ds: drugs, diabetes, and doctors as well. How to do it? For that, start with the prescription form, which you might have got in the Diabetes Educator Toolkit. In the prescription form, look carefully at the right hand side top corner. You will find patient identification number, IVMB number. So that is the reference number for the patient, and that will enter in our data bank, so that in future we can refer to that patient with that number. Now uh, here there is a place where you have to write your name, your email ID, and your phone number as a diabetes educator, so that your patient knows your email ID and phone number, which will be helpful for him if he want to reach you. And after that, you'll find a place where you have to write patient's detail, for example his name, his age, his whether he's male or female, his email ID, his mobile number, his profession, his weight in kg, his height in centimeter, most important, and his waist also in centimeter. So here the height and waist must be in centimeter, because these two things will play an important role in deciding the amount of food which he has to eat, so that the food can play the role of medicine, so that the food can play the role of insulin as well. So how to do it? For that, the Hobbs wheel will help you. You see, in Hobbs wheel there are two sides. In one side there is an insulin scale. This insulin scale will help you to decide how much food the person must eat, so that the food can play the equivalent role of the medicine, and so that the person is able to maintain a good blood sugar, a good blood pressure, and a normal blood cholesterol, even if he is not taking any medication. So how to do that? For that, you need two things. For example, in my case, to find how much food can help me to give the best metabolism to the body, I must have two things in with me. One is my height in centimeter, one is my waist in centimeter. This means you must have to find your patient's height and waist in centimeter. For that, you are having a centimeter tape in the diabetes educator toolkit itself. With the help of that centimeter tape, you can measure his height and his waist. Now let's say in my case, my height is 172 centimeter and my waist is about 78 centimeter. Now what you have to do, step 2, you have to multiply 172, that is the height of the patient, into the waist of the patient. In my case it is 78. So if I multiply both of them, it comes out to be 13416, and that becomes my food count. 13416. If I round it off, it becomes 13400, right? That means 13,400 is my food count. That is the amount of food which I have to eat, so that the food should play a role of medicine. Medicine for blood pressure, medicine for blood cholesterol, and medicine for diabetes, medicine, and also it can replace insulin requirement of the patient. So, but what 13,400 stands for? This is a food count. Through this, you'll understand the amount of food the patient needs, so that the food should play a role of medicine. So for that, this insulin scale will be of use. Now, along with the insulin scale, you take 1 liter plastic bottle. That can be a Bisleri water or any other bottle available in the market having 1 liter capacity. 1 liter normal Bisleri water bottle or any other water bottle. Now, uh, from the top you have to cut so that it becomes a glass. As you can see in this video, you have to cut the bottle from the top so that it takes the shape of a glass. Now you place the insulin scale uh, along the side of the bottle, as you can see in the video. And now from the uh, bottom you measure for 1300 13,400 in my case. So for that you have to refer to the orange scale. In orange scale, locate the patient's food count. In my case, my food count came out to be roughly 13,400. This means in orange scale I have to find 13,400, and then I have to mark the height at which it comes in that 1 liter bottle. So now this is the height, this is the amount of food which I have to eat, and then it can help me to remain free of disease like diabetes or blood pressure or cholesterol. These medical conditions can be taken care of if I eat this amount of food. What kind of food and how to eat at what time? That is an important question. So for that, you see the prescription form. After writing the patient's detail, the next part of the prescription form: food till 12 noon, including breakfast, dash bottle centimeter square of 4 types of fruit. So here you have to write the amount of food he has to eat. It is not in kg, it is more in volume. So how to do that? For that, the important thing here is, look at the bottle, and with the help of the orange scale you gave it a mark. That is the height up to which you have to fill the bottle. Now how much is the height? For that you can use the green scale, and with the green scale you can easily find out that height corresponds to the 13,400 foot count of orange scale. It corresponds to about 14 centimeter. This means you have to tell to the patient that they have to eat fruits. How much amount of fruit? That is equivalent to 14 centimeter height of this bottle. So this means on the first uh, blank you have to write food till 12 noon including breakfast is 14 centimeter. If I am the patient, 14 centimeter of 4 types of fruits. 4 types of fruits, for example, in this season there may be mango or apple or watermelon or papaya or banana, even grapes. Whatever kind of fruits is available according to the season, according to the taste or the availability, the patient can have to buy 4 different kind of fruits, and then they have to cut the fruit to the size. A small size fruit, it should be so small that it should be able to cross the hole given in the prescription. So this hole is deliberately made here so as to give an idea to the patient that how much should be the size of the fruit. It should be less than the size of the box. Now the patient have to cut the fruit smaller than the size of the box or the hole given in the prescription, and then they have to fill the bottle up to the mark. In my case, I have to fill the bottle up to the mark, that is about 14 centimeter height of the bottle. And then once I fill it, I have to fill it tightly, so I will tap it few times, about 10-15 times, and the fruits will settle down, and again I have to keep on filling the bottle till it reaches to the mark of 14 centimeter height. This means I have to finish this much of fruits till 12 noon. This includes my breakfast. So if I feel hungry, once I complete eating this, then I can eat anything else. You can search the patient can eat roti or chawal or sabji or dal, whatever he wants. But first he has to finish this much quantity of food, this much quantity of fruits in till 12 noon. This is not the replacement of food itself. This is the replacement of food as well as of the medicine. This means that if a patient by 12 noon is able to eat this much quantity of fruits, this much quantity will help him to keep his blood sugar at a normal range. So after that, still if he is hungry, he has two options. Either he can eat the same fruits more quantity, or now he can add to his breakfast any conventional breakfast like roti or sabji or parathe, whatever he want to eat, but that he should do only once he finishes eating this much quantity of fruits. So now the question comes, does that mean that every day when he will eat breakfast, first he has to measure the amount with the bottle? It will be a too tedious work. Every day he need not to measure. Only first day or second day or 1 or 2 days he has to measure, so that he understands 14 that how much quantity or how much volume of fruits he must eat, which can work as a medicine. So once he know this much volume, he can click a picture of that, or once he put all the fruits again in the plate, then visually also he will have an idea that how much fruits we are talking about he must eat, so that it can play the role of medicine. So this means, I repeat, as a patient, to know how much dose of food or fruits he has to eat in the morning, this bottle will be of use, and in the bottle you can make a mark up to what level he has to, up to what height he has to eat fruits. So because I have seen with the patient that they come back to me and they say, doctor, I am following whatever you are saying, I am eating 4 kind of fruits in the breakfast, even then my blood sugar is not in control. Here the most important thing is that it is not important that what you are eating, it is also important that what quantity you are eating, right? As this food is going to work for you as a medicine also. Now step 2, pre-lunch. Before eating any lunch, you must tell to the patient, before eating any lunch, whatever convention they might be eating, they might be eating roti, sabji, dal, chawal, papad, achar, whatever they must be, chole bhature, puriyan, whatever they want to eat, before eating that, first they have to finish eating the vegetable, raw vegetable of 4 types. 4 types of raw vegetable they have to eat, and once they finish 4 types of eating 4 types of raw vegetable, then they can eat their conventional lunch. How much vegetable they must eat in the lunch before they start eating their actual lunch? I call it a pre-lunch. That is, before you start your conventional actual lunch, first you have to finish the pre-lunch. In the pre-lunch, you have to eat 4 different kind of vegetable, and again up to the height of the your according to the food count, according to your height and waist. In my case, my food count was 14 centimeter. This means this time I have to fill the bottle up to 14 centimeter of its height, 4 different kind of vegetable of my choice, and those vegetable may include anything: cucumber, it can be shimla mirch, it can be tomato, it can be mutter, anything which I can eat raw, and it should be of 4 different varieties, so that it will ensure that all kind of nutrients, vitamins and minerals are going in my body. Now here, choose any 4 vegetable of your choice and then cut it to the size so that it can fit, or it can pass through the hole made in the prescription sheet. And now you fill the bottle with the vegetable till it reaches the height of 14 centimeter. This means pre-lunch, before you start lunch, which I call plate 1, you fill plate 1 with this vegetable and plate 2 with the conventional lunch. So first you finish the plate 1. When you finish the plate 1, when you eat all those vegetables, 2 things will happen. First, it will take about 25 minutes to 30 minutes to fill those to eat those vegetables, because those are in large quantity and you have to really chew it properly, because it contains a lot of fiber. And secondly, once you eat that much amount of vegetable, about 60% of your stomach will be full. This means now, for another 40% of your stomach, you can eat roti or chapati or bread or chawal or whatever conventionally you want to eat. So that is what you have to follow in pre-lunch, in the lunch, and the same rule, the same formula you have to apply in dinner as well. That means in my case, first I have to eat 14 centimeter height of the bottle, equivalent to that of vegetable, and once I finish eating that, then I will eat my conventional food. So here you have to add one thing, that everybody must finish their dinner by 8 p.m. and then the metabolism of the body is in its optimum stage. So here there is a special note: if you come across a person who is very obese, or if you come across a person who is diabetes type 1, then along with fruit and vegetable diet, you have to add uh, the garden green delight diet as well, because in some patient, just eating this much quantity of fruits and vegetable may not sometimes help him to control the blood sugar 100%, especially in the patient who have been on insulin for long years. For them, you have to add one more thing, that is Garden Green Delight. What is Garden Green Delight? You can give the recipe of that, which you will find in Diabetes Educators Toolkit. So in that you will find the Green Delight recipe, and if you see a patient who is very obese, or if you find a patient who is diabetes type 1, or if you find a patient who is taking insulin for long time, this means you must prescribe him to take Garden Green Delight as well. How much quantity of Garden Green Delight he has to take? Very simple. For that he has to follow the orange scale, the red scale. In my case, let's say if I am a patient and my body, my height about 172 centimeter and my waist size 78 centimeter, as I told you previously, and if I had been a patient of diabetes type 1, this means along with following the fruit and vegetable diet, I have to also follow the Garden Green Delight. And how much? Again, in red scale you see the mark of 14,000. That was my food count, and equivalent to 14,000. If you see in the green scale in centimeter, it becomes 10 centimeter. This means every day I must have to eat up to 10 centimeter height of bottle, equivalent to that of Garden Green Delight. This means here in Garden Green Delight you have to take 4 different kind of leaves, which the patient thinks that he can eat easily. It can include palak, it can include salad patta, it can include mooli patta, it can include pudina or dhania or pan ka patta. Any 4 different kind of leaves, green leaves. Now the person has to cut the leaves in a size so that it can easily pass through that hole made in the prescription sheet, and now the patient must fill the bottle with the leaves so that it fits up to 10 centimeter, and it should fit densely up to 10 centimeter. This much amount of leaf the patient should eat in the whole day. How to eat this? He can divide the leaves in 2 parts, 50-50. 50% of the leaf he can eat along with the lunch, and 50% he can eat along with the dinner. So, or 50% as a part of the leaf he can also enjoy at 5 p.m. Snacking time. So if the patient, insulin dependent patient or diabetes type 1 patient, includes the Garden Green Delight along with the fruit and vegetable diet to his lunch, it will help him to be free of drugs, it will help him to be free of insulin, and it will help him to maintain a required blood sugar level. How much blood sugar level is known to be the good blood sugar? So as I told you, as you might have seen in my book Last Days of Diabetes or my video Last Days of Diabetes, that the blood sugar threshold changes along as the weather changes, or it also changes along with the change in the age. For example, if a patient comes to you whose age is 40 years, so what should be his postprandial blood sugar? That you can measure with the help of the Hobbs wheel. So in Hobbs wheel you see on one side it is insulin scale, on the other side you will find a small wheel, white colored wheel. In that wheel find orange triangle on which it is written standard. So if you have to match the orange triangle with the age of the patient, let's say the age of the patient is 40 years, so match orange triangle on 40, right? So as you do that, in the window of the smaller wheel, that is the white wheel, you'll find a triangle, black triangle, a PP, postprandial triangle. If you look at the triangle, you'll find it is pointing towards 240. This means a patient whose age is 40 years, his postprandial blood sugar should be less than 240. This means after eating food, he has to wait for 2 hours, and then he has to measure his blood sugar. If his blood sugar is less than 240 without any drugs, without any insulin, just by following this kind of diet, This means he is no more a diabetes patient. His blood sugar is in the healthy range already. So, but if the same patient comes to you in winter season, let's say a patient whose age is 40 years and he comes to you in winter season, then instead of the orange standard triangle, you have to refer to the red triangle, which is meant specially for the winter. This means you have to match the red triangle with his age, that is 40 years. As you match with the 40 years age the red triangle, now you look at the smaller window, the small wheel, the white wheel window, and you check where the black triangle of postprandial blood sugar is pointing towards, and here you will find it is pointing towards a blood sugar range that is about 260. This means in winter season the 40 years old man, his blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar, if it is less than 260 without taking any drugs, without taking any insulin, this means he is not a diabetes patient. He is absolutely healthy. So depending on which season you meet the patient, you can decide, you can guide him what should be his threshold of postprandial blood sugar. And here you check in the prescription form, there is a place where you have to write his threshold blood sugar. So you can, here you can see rules to follow, and in that there is a blank on the first point written, you can safely discontinue the diabetes medication if postprandial sugar level is less than dash. In that dash you have to fill the number. For example, in 40 years of old man coming to you in summer, you have to write 240 mg per deciliter. This means you have to guide him that every day after eating food, especially the lunch, wait for 2 hours and then check your blood sugar. If it is less than 240 without taking any intervention, this means any medicine, that means you are free of drugs. This means this food is working on him. So now finally you will uh, uh, tear this sheet and give the white prescription to the patient, and whatever you have written for him a part in pink sheet which is left with you. This pink sheet you have to send uh, to me, to the head office of Indo-Vietnam Medical Board, and this will be in our database, so that we if the patient needs any advance suggestion or consultancy, they can contact us. So here in this prescription form, our email ID, our phone number is also mentioned, so that if the patient want to contact, if the patient is having any question, so he can directly contact us, and while he is contacting us he can mention his patient identification number. So through the patient identification number we will know about him, since you by the time have already sent us the soft copy of this filled form, and then accordingly through email we can give him the further advanced guidance. So this prescription form is valid for 15 days from the beginning, from the day when you have given the prescription. So you can charge for it about 200 rupees. This can become this can be your professional fees. So what the patient can expect within these 15 days, the patient can expect that his blood sugar level will be lower and normal, his blood pressure will be normal, his blood cholesterol will be normal, and he will be free of all the three kind of drugs. And uh, in most of the patient they will see about 5 to 10% reduction in the weight, especially the people who are obese, especially the people who are fat. So this means within 15 days he will see many benefits, including more energy level, including no symptoms of diabetes, including maintaining a good blood sugar, good blood pressure, good blood cholesterol. So that is the service which you have given to him. But there may be 10% of the patient who may not get this expected outcome. So for those 10% of the patient, for they might have to take our advanced service. For that you can ask them to contact us directly, so that on the basis of their medical history we can give them the advanced guidance. So for advanced guidance you need not to worry, because as a diabetes educator your role is to give only the first line of treatment, that is the first 15 days of treatment, and in that only 90% of the patient they will be free of the medicine, and they'll get relief from these medical conditions. This means this method is working on them. This means they can carry on with this kind of diet so as to maintain good health. So for second line of treatment, in those 10% of the patient, they can refer directly to us, and on the basis of the medical conditions, which we may ask him to submit his medical reports, we can give them the expert guidance. So with this, I come to the end of the training on how to become the professional diabetes educator, your first step towards becoming a professional diabetes educator. Here, one thing I must tell at the end, that before you actually give a prescription to any patient, first you try it on your own. First you have some rehearsal with your friends or maybe with your family members, so that you are confident about what you are going to do and how you are going to handle the patient. So this whole process may look a little unusual for the patient, because they have never seen in their life that a doctor or a healthcare expert is giving them advice in this manner, that is the food becoming the medicine. But that is something unusual, and that is something which is magical, and the moment they see the magic, which I am sure within the first 3 days most of them will see the magic, the food becomes a medicine, right? So here you are helping the society to make them healthy once again.